Action item 1A is the approval of the minutes of the January 22nd, 2024 meeting. I move the approval of action item 1A. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussions? Hearing none, we will vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any dissensions or abstentions? No, that item passed. We will now address the action items on the policy calendar. Policy item 1B1A is a resolution to decertify inactive centers and institutes. I now call Executive Vice Chancellor and University Provost Wendy Hensel to provide further information on the item. Wendy.
Thank you. This action is carried out in agreement with the current Board of Trustees Policy 1.09, the policy guidelines on centers, institutes, consortia, and special initiatives that require such entities to be recertified every 5 years. In accordance with the policy, college leaders have identified centers and institutes that have become inactive or have merged with other entities and that no longer fully align with the strategic priorities of the home college or that lack a realistic path to financial self-sufficiency. The centers and institutes listed on the resolution will be removed from the inventories of the respective colleges. Should the committee have any questions about this item, Interim Senior University Dean Ann Lopes would be happy to answer them. Oh, that's you. Sorry.
So that's it. I move the approval of policy item 1B1A. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seemed very straightforward to me.
Yep.
Okay, so we have no discussion, so we will vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? That item passes. Policy item 1B1B through 1B1GG are resolutions pertaining to the recertification of select centers and institutes from various campuses. Again, I'll call on Executive Vice Chancellor Hensel.
The proposed actions to authorize recertification of 32 of our centers and institutes from across 10 campuses were carried out in compliance with the current Board of Trustees Policy 1.09, which requires such entities to be recertified every 5 years. In preparation for recertification, colleges and schools have been engaged in a thorough assessment and evaluation of all existing centers, institutes, and consortia, including any applicable governance approval. The Office of Academic Affairs has rigorously reviewed recertification requests that have been approved by the campuses, including reports on the specific centers or institutes' fiscal viability, governance, and continued value. In addition, OAA has affirmed that the entities support the core mission of the colleges and the university. The breakdown of the entities for which the campuses recommend recertification is as follows. For Baruch College, 3 centers and 1 institute, including the CUNY Institute for Demographic Research. For Brooklyn College, 3 centers, including the Center for Computer Music. For City College, 3 institutes and 1 center, including the CUNY Energy Institute. For the School of Journalism, 3 centers, including the McGraw Center for Business Journalism. For the School of Public Health and Health Policy, 4 centers and 2 institutes, including the CUNY Urban Food Policy Institute. For Hunter College, 3 centers, including the Center for Puerto Rican Studies. For Medgar Evers College, 4 centers, including the Center for Black Literature. For Queens College, 2 centers and 2 institutes, including the Calandra Institute. For the Law School, the Center of Diversity in the Legal Profession. And for York College, the CUNY Aviation Center. Leaders from across these campuses are present today and can answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. So I move the approval of policy item 1B1B through 1B1GG. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah. I have a couple of concerns, I guess. One is most of these institutes and centers don't require any tax levy dollars, but several survive on grants and contracts. In many cases, the grants or contracts expire before the end of the recertification period. If such happens and there's not a replacement grant or college, will you be coming back to us to deal with the implications of whether we have to decertify or make a decision to use tax levy funds or whatever?
So first of all, if you will allow me, I just want to thank my team because the amount of work that was involved in this was extraordinary and they spent quite a lot of time. So to the folks in the Office of Academic Affairs, thank you for their intense work in this space. Second, the conclusion that we came to in looking at this was we decided to recertify some for 3 years and some for 5. And where there was some question about the ongoing fiscal ability to maintain without tax levy dollars, we agreed on a 3-year extension. So we are paying attention to these. Should there be a moment of, if your question is if it's a 5-year recertification and they lose the funding in year 3, there currently is no mechanism to survey that. Should you want something of that, we certainly could ask for ongoing reports from the provost. But we already set up the 3- and 5-year paradigm in part to respond to who has robust funding and who has funding, but we have some questions about the longevity or sustainability of the funding.
Consider yourself so asked.
Understood.
And my second concern, there are a small number of the institutes and centers that do use tax levy funds, often for the director of the institute, sometimes for some other expenses. I would also like an assurance that we will be notified if there is a need to significantly increase the use of tax levy funds for any of the institutes that we are recertifying or centers.
Yeah, certainly, again, every 3 and 5 years, we'll be looking at these, but we can, as I said, we could set up an annual type of report system for things that met a certain threshold of change with respect to the fiscal status quo, I guess is the best
Thank
way.
you. I think the work that you and your staff has done is amazing to work through these. And hopefully, since this is the first round, we won't have to go through it on an annual basis.
Agreed. I think it was a very worthwhile endeavor, in part because we found so many that had really not gone through the process at all. What you're seeing are the ones that were formally approved at some point versus the ones that were discontinued that had never gone through the approval process. So this has been quite a good exercise, I think, all around to clean house.
Thank you.
Thanks, yes, Angela.
One out of so many. Do you know how many years the Kalange Institute has been reinstated for?
I believe it's 5.
5?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Again, I echo thanks. This is a big job. It's something that's been on the Board of Trustees kind of radar screen, I'd say, for years. And I think we're finally getting to a point where we're cleaning things up and we have things meeting what we put into place as expectations for centers and institutions.
And there is more coming.
Great. So without any discussion, I guess we can put this to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition or abstentions? That item passes. Policy item 1B2A is a resolution to award Pedro Mato Gelabert with early tenure at the Graduate School of Public Health and Health Policy with an application of bylaw 6.2C2. Again, I'll call on Provost Hensel.
Professor Matteo Gelabert is nationally and internationally recognized for his significant, novel, and interdisciplinary contributions in the epidemiology of drug use, urban studies, immigration, social networks, and HIV hepatitis C prevention, with a scholarly record that exceeds the expectations of faculty being considered for tenure and promotion. He is a well-funded scientist who has secured 26 grants from the National Institutes of Health and foundations. Professor Mato Gelabert is a dedicated teacher and mentor, engaging master's and doctoral students in his research and scholarship. While at the School of Public Health, he has also served on multiple committees and has demonstrated leadership in strategic initiatives. He will be highly sought after by other education and research institutions, and the university should make every effort to retain him. My colleague, Dean Ayman El-Mohandes, Dean of the School of Public Health, is here tonight and can answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Wendy. So I move the approval of policy item 1B2A. Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussions or any questions? Hearing none, we will now vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item passes. Policy item 1B3A is a resolution requesting approval of the Faculty Personnel Matters Report of the Education Policy Committee. Again, Wendy.
The information contained in the Faculty Personnel Matters Report includes appointments and reappointments with tenure and fellowship leave. Faculty are evaluated and reappointed on a systematic basis through a highly rigorous process involving local governance as well as approval of the institution's chief academic officer and president, with the goal of awarding tenure to retain superior faculty. Fellowship leave is granted to faculty to conduct research, improve their teaching, or produce creative work as part of the nationally recognized responsibilities of the professoriate. The Faculty Personnel Matters report of the Education Policy Committee being presented today was generated in summary format from faculty data entered by the campuses into CUNY First, the university system of record, between December 16th, 2023 and February 9th, 2024.
Okay. So I move the approval of policy item 1B3B. Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Questions? Hearing none, we will now vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or abstentions? That item passes. Okay, what am I up to now? Okay, policy item 1B3B is the resolution requesting approval of the actions in the curriculum and academic policy dashboard report. Yeah, Wendy.
Routine academic matters requiring approval by the New York State Education Department, significant local academic policies and course inclusions in the university's general education program are presented to the committee. Excuse me. Pardon me for a moment. It's hard when I'm the only one talking.
I know all about that.
You do.
Are presented to the Committee on Education Policy in the summary report for your consideration. Sorry. Your approval of these changes in academic offerings, proposed or modified campus policies, and the expansion of general education courses permit our colleges and schools to improve upon the education of our students and the operation of the academic enterprise. This month's dashboard included 12 academic program actions.
That's it? Okay. So I move the approval of policy item 1B3B. Do I have a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, we will vote. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? That item passes. With no more items on the policy calendar, I now call on Executive Vice Chancellor Hensel to address the information item on the agenda.
As explained during the introduction of the resolution to decertify select centers and institutes, the campuses have been conducting a thorough inventory and evaluation of existing centers and institutes and have identified those which have become obsolete or have been absorbed by larger entities within their respective institutions. From that set, some are duly authorized by the Board of Trustees. However, there is also a number that historically referred to as centers or institutes for which there is no record of a Board of Trustee approval. The information items list the entities from the latter set. These entities will be removed from the respective institution's inventory, and the schools and colleges will stop referring to them as centers or institutes.
Thank you, Wendy. So with no more items on the agenda, I move to adjourn the meeting. Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I didn't beat Brian, oh dear.
Yep, right in that same spider, but we have to wait for. There's never.